Hey everyone, sitting here with Cam, who is a PA student. He successfully got into school with a lower NGPA, which is incredibly difficult to do. And I'm just happy he's here sitting with me to talk a little bit about his journey. So, Cam, if you want, introduce yourself to the people and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man. First of all, thank you for the opportunity. I'm from Florida. I got in on my first cycle, thank God. I don't know how I pulled that off, but did that. I got my bachelor's in exercise physiology, and yeah, got in my first try at UMES.
That's awesome, man. And for those who don't know what UMBS,
UMES, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore.
awesome, awesome. And to do it on your first try, no less, is absolutely like ridiculous.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
Most people, even with good GPAs, it takes two or three tries. So that's just like a testament to how hard you must have worked.
yeah. One of my mentors were like, "You're not gonna get on your first try, man, but that's okay." And then I got in. I was like, "I guess I did, huh?"
That's amazing, man. So tell us a little bit about your journey. So tell us about like undergrad. Like, did you go to school wanting to be a PA, or were you something else? And you're like, you know what, I really like this. So walk us a little bit through it.
Oh, long story. Absolutely. So, um, first of all, I didn't even want to go to school. I really just wanted to play football. Only reason why I went to school was to play football. So my first semester of school, I went to go play football at Edward Waters College in Jacksonville, Florida. Couldn't play there because my grades were like low and my SAT scores and ACT scores were terrible. So I went to New York Erie Community College to play junior college football. So started playing junior college football. Still didn't know what I want to do. Had my brothers on my head saying, "Hey man, football's not forever. What are you gonna do?" I don't know. I just wanted to play football. So after I graduated with my AA, I think it was like a 2.8, which was crazy because I wasn't focused. Um, I went to UWF after that. After I went to UWF, couldn't play football anymore. Tried out for the team, weren't accepting any players. So I was like, dang, what am I gonna do? So I used to shadow a physical therapist because I was still trying to find out what I wanted to do. And I was like, I'm just gonna go the physical therapy route. Maybe I can work with athletes. So after that, shadowed a bunch of physical therapists, noticed how boring it was. I was like, this is not me. So I talked to the therapist I was shadowing, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this. And he was like, have you ever looked at a PA? I'm like, no, I haven't. So I Googled it, and my major was exercise science. So a lot of the prereqs for physical therapy were very similar to PA. So after that, I just went for physician assistant, and then my school had a capstone where you can do 360 hours in the emergency department. So that's what I did, and I found a PA, and I was like, oh, yo, this is exactly what I wanted to do. After that, I talked to my advisor, and they were like, you can actually do another 360, just take it incomplete. So I literally did 760 hours of 360 hours of shadowing, and another 360 hours, like I guess they counted as direct patient care. So
That's incredible, man. What an interesting journey, We have actually that in common. I was physical therapy first as well, and it also didn't really do it for me.
yeah,
Not to say it's not for everyone. I like PA way better.
understood.
Um, so where did you end up graduating from?
So I graduated at University of West Florida in Pensacola, Florida.
Okay, great. And when you finished there, your GPA 3.1, or did you have to like take classes after to like get your GPA up?
So my GPA was like I think the GPA was a 3.2, but then you know how you apply to CASPA, it brings your GPA down like, I don't know, 2 points.
Yeah.
But my GPA was like a 3.2, and I still had a couple prereqs to take. So what my thought is, well, I guess what my thought is now, when I took after I graduated and I took the prereqs, it counted it as a whole new like GPA, like a post bachelor GPA. So I got like a 3.3 on that, and on my graduate science courses, which was I guess the post back, um, and that's that. I guess that's how that went.
But you didn't take a master's or anything, right? You just took like prerequisites. Like, did you retake any prerequisites, or you just took the ones you didn't have?
So I took the ones I didn't have, and I also retook actually withdrew at a biology two lab because it wasn't I was not doing great. So I retook biology to lab.
Awesome, man. That's incredible. That's truly a tough thing to do, you know. So besides your GPA, did you think what were like the strengths on your application? You know, because obviously, your GPA was letting you down a little bit, but like you had some other things going for you. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So after I graduated, I knew I needed something. I knew I was trying to get in PA school. So my school had a, if you took this course, not a course, if you took exercise physiology, you can take the test to be a exercise physiologist. So I took that and I got my exercise physiologist certification, and I was looking for a bunch of cardiac rehab jobs and I couldn't find any. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I need something else. So then my school actually every Saturday for like 6 hours was a class where you can get your medical assistant certification. So I got my medical assistant certification. I think this is all within me, like 4 months of me graduating, me applying in April, and I graduated in December. I got my medical assistant, and I found out once you got your medical assistant, you can take an EKG certification. And I took the EKG certification because in exercise physiology, our school specifically, we have an EKG class. So I already knew how to take the, knew how to read EKGs. So after that, what else did I do? Oh, and I was doing all of that while working as a transporter in the hospital. Then I worked as a phlebotomist after I got my medical assistant. And then after that, I went to go work as a, oh, I'm sorry, I'm scatterbrained right now. I also shadowed, not shadowed, I also shadowed with like three other PAs, one in cardiology, one in interventional radiology, one in orthopedics. And then I also volunteered for hospice. Literally, I was just sitting there doing my homework while they were living the last time. Um, and I also did, it's a lot. I also did research. I also did research for like 6 months, and then it didn't work out.
Wow,
But
but it sounds like you did a ton of. I'm sorry, did I cut you off? Did you have something else to
no,
add?
no, no, you're good. That's really it.
Oh, it sounds like you did a ton of different stuff. So really quick, would how many hours of total patient care experience would you say you had? Do you know off the top of your head if you had to guess?
Probably around 2000.
That's a lot.
Probably
And
around 2000.
now another question. Did you get that? So just so I know your timeline a little bit, did you get that all during undergrad or did you get that after you graduated or a little bit of both?
So a little bit of both. So during undergrad, I was working before I was a transporter and a phlebotomist at the hospital. I was a resident assistant. I was basically a patient caretaker for the resident assistant. Probably should have added that first. And then I was a transporter, and then I was a phlebotomist. Then I was a medical assistant. Then exercise physiologist, and then I was a medical assistant.
And that was during
Um,
undergrad?
wow, yeah, sorry. So undergrad specifically was phlebotomy, transporter, and resident assistant. After that, I
Awesome.
graduated.
And what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2019.
2019. And then you got some other jobs that you mentioned before after that, right? And what year did you apply? Was it 2019 or was it the next year?
I applied 2019.
Oh wow, you were quick. So did
Yeah, I
you
applied 2019.
did you have 2,000 hours by then or by the like end of the cycle?
The end of the cycle, I literally kept on, updating my application as time went by. I think I applied. Was it April? I literally got an interview in like December.
So you apply. So when did you send in your first application? How many actually? Let's keep on the timeline part. So you applied in 2019 when you graduated, right?
Right.
When did you send your application in or your like first applications? Do you remember? Was it at the beginning of the cycle in April or was it well not in April but like May, June,
Probably
July?
June. Probably
June.
June.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's still pretty early. You're probably
Yeah.
preparing a lot before.
Oh, absolutely. I was like, we went on a cruise, me and my roommates. I was literally writing my personal statement in like
Very
March,
nice.
making sure everything was ready. But I sent a bunch of, I finished my whole like applications, but there was a couple things that were missing, such as like my GRE scores, doing extra applications that the schools wanted, like
Gotcha.
on their site, the graduate
Gotcha.
applications.
How many schools did you apply to?
21.
Nice. I mean, look, some people are hesitant, but sometimes just applying to more schools is what it takes.
Absolutely.
And out of all those 21, how many interviews?
I got 2.
Wow. And you only needed one. You only needed
I
one to
only,
say
man, you
yes.
only need one. And the second, my first interview, I killed the interview. The second one, this is the height of COVID, and they can't. It was just like an interview from hell, man. They canceled my flight. I had to call them, said I couldn't make it. They were like, we're gonna put you on the next cycle. I was like, I'm not getting in. And then that's when COVID happened, and they were like, okay, we're gonna do online interviews now, and I'm way better in person than online. But yeah, they didn't like me, which is
Oh,
okay.
well, hey, I mean, thank God it worked out and you got in.
Yeah.
Um, did you even know about this school when you were applying, or this was just one of the schools where you like meet the minimum and you were like, why not?
I did not know about it. So I think I applied to this school late. I think it was around September. I was scrambling. I got so much denials. I'm like, man, I am not gonna get in. I just started Googling more schools like lower GPAs, and I believe that there is a website on the PA forum where it has like 28 pages of just people's and their GPAs and how many schools they applied to. That's where I got most of the schools from after doing my research and seeing that they accepted students with lower GPAs. But this school, I was literally Googling like schools with lower GPA, and this school came up, and I seen that their application deadline was like in a couple days, and I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna make that." And then I called the school anyways. I was like, hey, I actually, very interested. I'd love to send my application. And they was like, yeah, the deadline is in a couple of days. If you can make it, you can make it. If not, I'm sorry. So I knew I wasn't gonna make it. I actually didn't even apply. And then I just get a random email like, hey, the deadline is extended. I think they sent it to a bunch of people. Deadline is extended. I was like, whoa. So I was like, whoa, this is a blessing. So I sent my application and I literally called them probably like every 2 days. Hey, did you guys get my GRE? Hey, did you guys get my transcripts? Hey, is my application verified? And they were just like, yes, we got it, and got the interview, and then I killed the interview, and then they accepted me in like a week or two.
That's awesome. That's an incredible. People underestimate what a phone call can do. You know, reaching out to a school and just kind of letting them know that you're interested. And I'm guessing it was extended probably because of COVID or something like that, maybe.
Probably it was this was like the height of COVID, like before, almost right before they closed everything down.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think we actually applied the same cycle. I think I applied. Are you graduating when? When are you graduating?
2022.
As am I. As am I. So, and you started in 2020?
2020 August, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we applied at the same time. We have a very similar path, except
uh
I took 2 gap years instead of one. Um,
you graduated in December?
I graduated in 2018.
No, do you graduate PA school in December?
Oh yeah, I do.
Same.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, I cannot wait for it to be done.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, I'm so tired of working for free.
right, yeah. But back to your application. We could rant about that forever, I think. So did you like in your personal statement, because you mentioned it before, did you talk about your GPA at all?
Absolutely.
Okay, tell me
Absolutely.
how did you address it? Did you like say, did you kind of talk about like why it wasn't so great, or were you like I'm more than my grades, or a little bit of everything?
Absolutely.
If you
I
remember.
told them like I wanted them to know like my GPA was low. If you take a look at it when I wasn't playing football, it increased like a lot. So yeah, I told them that I wasn't focused on school. I was playing football, um, and I think that's one of the things. Like, okay, when he stopped playing football, looks like he really buckled down and focused and started really focusing and increasing his GPA. So I definitely used that to my advantage because it was kind of low, like around 2.8, 2.6. At one point, I couldn't even play I almost couldn't play football because my GPA was so low.
Yeah. That's the downside of sports and taking on too much in school.
Yep.
It's really tough. But also on the other hand, like sports also shows that you can handle a difficult course load and do something difficult at the same time, because playing a sport at college is a full-time job. And then on top of that, you have another full-time job of being a student. So it's a double-edged sword. You really, if you're listening to this and you play a sport and your ultimate goal is to do something other than your sport, you have to take your grades very, very seriously, or else it could really affect you.
Definitely.
So a hypothetical question for you. Let's pretend you didn't get into PA school. What would have been like your plan of attack? Because I'm sure you were already like, all right, what am I doing next cycle to make myself a better applicant? Did you think about it?
Oh yeah. So I was a lot of things going through my head. I was going to actually I applied and I got accepted to a master's in public health at University of West Florida. But I got accepted, so I didn't have to go. And I was also thinking about going to nursing school for like a year because I already had my bachelor's. But at the same time, after getting all of these rejections, I was literally calling all of these PA schools and saying, "Hey, what can I do to increase my chances of the next cycle?" Each and every one of them.
And did they give you any feedback, or did they kind of give you the same generic thing?
A couple schools gave me some feedback. They said something about they wanted more patient care hours. They wanted more. My GPA was low. My GRE was terrible. Um, yeah, they're like, yeah, more patient care would help you out. Maybe you should retake your GRE, things like that. And I appreciate them who did get that to me.
Yeah, a lot of schools really give you pretty like, at least from my experience, whenever you ask for feedback, it was like, sorry, we can't give you feedback, because I kind of get it also, because if they give you feedback and they have like 2,000 applicants, they
Yeah.
can't give everyone feedback. It's really tough. So yeah. So now if someone's like a pre-PA and they're listening to this, um, like what are some mistakes you made you would want them to avoid?
I want y'all to know that there is extra things to do. Like, when you're on CASPA, make sure you read what they tell you to do, because I was a little shocked at these grad applications. Like when I got my first rejection letter, I went on the PA form. Every year this happens. They go on the PA form. People like, hey, 2020, 2021 cycle, I got an interview. And I'm looking, I'm like, how did they get an interview already? I didn't get an interview. And I went back and looked at my application. They were like, you have to, or I went back on their website and they said that you have to apply to our grad school too. You have to put that application in. That's like another $50 to $75, which I didn't have the money at the time, but definitely look at those. And I think other schools require on CASPA, they have other little sections where you have to write more like another personal statement, which shocked me too. I'm like, hey, I really needed the time to like really find out what they're gonna ask. So, but that's my advice for you. Really like apply early and definitely look at what it says on CASPA or their program site.
Yeah, it's extremely important to read like every single thing they say, because even if it's something little, like they could throw in there like also fill this out, and it'll just be a little link. And if you don't see that and they don't get it in time, that's an automatic. You just made them an easy $50 because they're just going to reject you. They don't care. Um, you have to meet the minimums for every single school. I'm sure that you may have not met the minimum for some schools just because you were applying so quickly and they automatically
Right.
rejected you, and you probably were like, oh no, you
Right.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, on some of the feedback, they did say like, hey, you didn't have this certain GPA, or you didn't have this certain the score in the class, or there were some where I just didn't qualify, and
Yeah,
I was definitely going a little too fast.
that's tough. And you said your overall GPA when you applied was a 3.1?
So coming out of UWF was a 3.2, but when I applied to CASPA, my undergrad GPA was a 3.0, my science GPA was a 3.0, my graduate science GPA with like 6 classes was like a 3.3. So
Okay. Awesome.
yeah, I think I
Uh,
had like a 2 point something on science, but me taking those prereqs probably like boosted it up to a 3.0.
awesome. And you said you had a mentor. He was a PA or a she?
Yes, he was VA.
Awesome. And how helpful was she in like navigating these waters?
Oh, very. So my personal statement, I'm a terrible writer. He ripped my personal statement probably about 10 times. He was like, man, this is a great story, but this sucks. Like, formulate it better.
Yeah,
All right, cool. You're getting better. Do it, do it again. I was like, all right, do it again. Kept doing it. Finally, it was like, wow, this is great. Now take it to the writing lab because your grammar sucks. All right, thank you. And then once it was done, he was like, oh, it's time to apply, man. This is great.
that's awesome. It's really important to have someone guiding you. Hopefully you have someone this involved in your life, like you had, of course, but
Yeah.
sometimes that's not always possible and you got to find other ways. So yeah, I have two final questions for you. So one of them is, it seems like you actually did an amazing job of navigating COVID. So many people I talk to, they're like, what do I do? There's no patient care hours. Like COVID has shut everything down. But you seem to have no issues finding positions during even the height of COVID. Like, was there something special you did? Did you go to special like types of hospitals or clinics? Or did you just kind of like cast a wide net? Like, did you have a strategy for that?
So while working, I was a medical assistant already. So they needed me at the time
Yeah.
because it was COVID. I was literally doing the COVID tests and strictly COVID tests. And they're
Yeah.
like, all right, stay in the room. We're gonna let you know when this COVID comes. Thank you for doing this. So yeah, that's how I went about working.
Oh, so you got that before COVID and they just needed you more than ever.
Right.
Were they
Absolutely.
busier than ever? Did they actually hire more people?
No, they didn't hire more people. They kept us on staff. They kept their staff who they had, but they were just like, all right, we kind of need somebody like specifically for COVID.
Gotcha.
And I'm like,
Yeah, so I guess
ah,
sometimes it's just timing for people.
right. It was great timing. Yeah.
Awesome. And so now my final question for you is like, so tell me a little bit about your experience in PA school. Like, how has the school been? Also, so I didn't ask this before. Your school, is it like an accredited? Is it provisional? Do you know,
Provisional.
or
Yeah, it's
provisional?
provisional. Yep.
Awesome. Which means you can take the pants.
Yes.
Awesome. What have you signed up yet? Because I signed up.
No, we can sign up now. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna sign up. Yeah.
You could reach out to your school and ask them like what you have to do. Our school sent us like an email. So yeah, I mean yeah, I could actually forward you something if you want. We'll talk after.
Yeah, please, please, please. But
100%. So tell me about like the school and like how you're liking it and like your experiences so far.
so the school's at HBCU, and it's honestly, I really like it. We actually haven't had a lot of interaction with other students because we did come during COVID also. So at that time, they sent students home and everything was online, and we were like one of the only ones in school. But honestly, I like the program. Yeah, I like the program, man. And I love my classmates. My classmates, they probably definitely help, make the program, especially when they talk about you got to be as flexible as you can be, and they throw random things everywhere. But just being with a group of people who helps you go through, who help you go through that environment is great. But I like my school. I would recommend it to anybody and everybody. Um, yeah,
Awesome.
it's a great school.
Awesome. Hey, I appreciate every second of your time. If you have any parting words of wisdom for these pre-PAs that might listen to this, hopefully get some good tips from you. Any parting words of wisdom?
When you're applying, apply as early as possible. Be the first you they see because when they look at an application, everybody looks similar. So hopefully you're that first person of the same stats that they see. So definitely be the first you. And when you interview, just be yourself and show them that you can do this.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually love the first thing I mean, I like everything you said, but the first thing is really important because people are like, oh, I have 2,000 hours in a 4.0. Like, I can apply whenever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also maybe 20 or 30 other people with that. Out of 2,000, it's not that crazy for 20 other people to have your exact stats. You got to
Exactly.
get in line first. They got to see you first. And I think that's some really good advice, especially mainly for rolling admission schools, which most PA schools are.
Right.
All right. So yeah, I really appreciate your time, man. And good luck to you. Maybe we'll work together. Probably not, but like maybe I'll come down and I'll do
All
a
right.
travel PA thing, you know?
What coast are you on?
I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New York.
Ah, okay. Yeah, man. Who knows? Maybe I'll be up there. But thank you for the opportunity. It was very nice to meet you, and I hope that I help some of these PPAs and PA students.
Awesome, man. Good talking to you.
All right, man. Thank you.